And we are back with another podcast episode for you all. We're happy to be back together and get this episode started. Thanks for hanging out with the Third Life Crisis podcast.
If you didn't know, we are three friends navigating this third life crisis journey. So join us on this wild adventure.
My name is John Michael, and as always, I have Cassie and Austin here with me. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey. We took yet another week off, but we are ready to get on with the show. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, and today we're going to be going over our Easter weekend, discussing if we are too old to get effed up, and have other few topics for you guys.
Let me save as a topic. Yes.
But first things first, pause the episode right here and go and follow us on your social media sites. Just search at 3RD Live Podcast and follow and like us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Cassie, she's the one that tweeted the tweet today about our new episode that came out.
Yes.
And
episode 38.
When she asked what our website was, I told her it's at I said www.3RD Live Podcast. And she's like, okay. And then she asked me again. I told her it's 3RD Live Podcast. And I saw her type it out when I said it a third time, 3RD Live Podcast. And she typed out THIRD.
Oh, God.
I was like, no, 3RD.
That's what I put, Third Life Podcast.
That must explain why we have a lot of listens and downloads, but not a lot of followers. Sure. People just aren't listening. So, again, it's 3RD. I'm not going to spell it out. Okay, so how was your guys' Easter weekend? What did you guys do? Anything to report? I know we didn't put out an episode last week.
Should we go back another week? No.
I don't know. This time jump, they're going to hear this next week. I mean, God knows where we're going to be.
We're from the future. Oh, wait, not the future. We're from the past. Just cut all that out. Thanks.
Did you guys celebrate in prayer or anything? I know Austin's very religious. That's why I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wherever two or more are gathered in your name, there I will be.
You did play Jesus in our school play.
Here we go again.
2 years running.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard this story.
2 years running.
Probably the past 10 years of my life.
7th and 8th grade, yes, that is correct.
So yeah, what'd you guys do?
Nothing. My parents came up Good Friday. We really didn't do anything, right? Don't remember doing anything.
We just went out for dinner, I think.
Went out for dinner. And that's pretty much it. We watched Tomb Raider, the new one, which that one's getting a sequel. John pointed that out to me on Facebook. And then on Saturday, we woke up, went and had breakfast at Esperanza's, very delicious.
It's
and
so
from
weird
there,
how we don't eat Mexican food unless his parents are in town or unless we're in San Antonio. Like, we don't go out of our way to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Right. Cassie's level of Mexican food that she cooks is the level of Mexican food that I like.
Oh, none? I don't understand.
On a scale from 1 to 10, Cassie's at
I don't know, man. She
I'm at a
much
negative 1.
Much like many other Hispanics, she can flip the tortillas with using her hand. She makes awesome chicken and rice.
That's it. That's where this list stops, boys and girls.
I feel like if you can make an egg roll, you can make a burrito, Cass.
What? Mexican food is not about burritos. Get out of here.
I'm just saying.
So we had that, and then we went shopping at the outlet mall in Grand Prairie. I got some sandals.
Some Jesus sandals to celebrate.
Yeah, that Cassie didn't want me to have.
He gets the most beat up looking sandals because they're comfortable. You can't wear them out anywhere except for around the house because you look like a hobo.
I can wear them out.
I don't own a pair of sandals. I do own 3 pairs of Crocs, though. I don't know if those are on the same level or not.
I think that's worse.
Wow.
Jessica, back me up. Is this worse?
Yeah, when we were there, it's a certain type of sandal that I like. The name of the brand is called Bluefin, and they make very comfortable sandals. And she tried getting me to buy Crocs instead of those sandals. That's how much she didn't like the sandals.
It was a joke, number one.
I was about to say, you can't dog Crocs, but then want your husband to wear Crocs.
No, it was a joke.
Also, I'll hook you up with a pair of Crocs.
Thank you.
Please, just keep those to yourself.
So we went shopping there, and then after that, us four went to Topgolf, and we're there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Did you win again?
I did, yes. Both games. We played 2 of the top score. Normal stuff, but yeah, got the top score. Took me about half a game to warm up, but I got there. Cassie, do you want to mention the dessert you had at Topgolf?
So let's just start off with, we checked the mail finally, right? So we got these coupons in the mail for donuts, for Shipley's. And everybody's like, yeah, donuts, right? Well, we didn't bring the coupons with us, right? They left them at the house. So we get to Topgolf, and Austin's dad and I don't drink. We don't drink too much, so we didn't order any drinks. But he was like, oh, look at these donuts. And I was like, yeah, I'll try them with you. And they were like little small sugared donuts, little donut holes. And basically they gave you these 3 flavors, like a syringe, and you injected them with it. And then you'd pop them in your mouth. They were delicious.
You inject them yourself?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun and delicious.
What flavors were your go-to?
So they had 3. It was raspberry, chocolate, and like a cream.
You had one of each?
Yeah. I mean, I had many of each. But
Cassie was just mainlining those fillings.
We'll go with one each.
Mainlining? Straight into the...
Mm-hmm.
They helped us play better, so I'm just saying.
That's funny.
So we did that, and then Saturday night we watched Mission Impossible Fallout.
Great movie.
My movie of the year, 2018.
Take a listen.
Still great. Still probably one of the closest things you can get to a perfect action movie. And then Sunday, my parents went to Mass in the morning. Cassie and I stayed home, and we went to Torchy's after.
We cooked.
Oh, yes. And then Cassie and my mom cooked a bunch of stuff for
He says
dinner.
Cassie, as in Alice did everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Nice. So just a little family get-together is what it comes down to.
Yes.
No Easter egg hunting, no... Okay, so I didn't know this was a thing, but I was about to say no piñatas, but apparently there's an Easter bunny piñata everywhere now.
I've seen them, but I don't know if that was like always a thing.
I don't know if it was always a thing either, but I feel like it's a thing now.
Not just say that. So there's a street you can turn into our neighborhood before you turn into our street. And when we were coming down that street on Sunday, wasn't it, Cassie? Or was it Saturday? One of the houses in our neighborhood, they were having a party. And this was a huge party. They had a giant tent set up, balloons, jump houses, piñatas, music was going.
Games on the front lawn. Like
it was just insane.
There's like a line forming. I don't know what. I just got in line and, I'm just kidding.
But they had piñatas.
The cars were spilling over for like a block, I guess. Like all of one side of the street and then half of the other.
Yeah.
Now, was it a public event or was it like a family?
No, it was
at someone's
party.
House. Yeah.
Dang.
You could hear the music in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, nothing like that for you guys.
Others had fun. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no.
No. No, I don't ever remember piñatas. No, never mind.
What about egg coloring, cascarones?
Well, we didn't do that this year, but yeah, growing up we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, we can get into the growing up things for Easter here, but I just wanted to quickly say...
What did y'all do?
My weekend was great. Went fishing. Caught a lot of fish.
Ah, yes.
Don't have to elaborate it. I mean,
Snapchat. Got it. Add Jon on Snapchat. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't actually know what your thing is called.
I
was kidding.
It was fun. Made a video. Maybe I'll post it. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
He already posted on Facebook, so it's 8 minutes long.
I
watched about half of it, and then I had to go to sleep. It's pretty long.
And then we got back on Saturday. I'm sorry, we got back on Sunday morning. Made it in time for Easter at noon at my in-laws' house. And yeah, had a good time. Was outside barbecuing. It was nice and hot. We were in the shade.
Hot.
I mean, it was hot. Over here, it was hot.
Oh, it was warm, but I wouldn't say it was hot where we were.
Well, let me clarify.
Oh, Vinny got away.
We were playing.
That's one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
So go say your thing and then we'll come back.
Well, I would say it was hot because we were playing baseball or throwing a softball around, and Jessica's dad was hitting grounders to us, and and then we started playing volleyball. I was drenched in sweat.
Hitting grounders to you like y'all are children.
Dude, he was hitting grounders like he was trying to, get it done. It was, but it was fun. It was hot as hell. And there were some kids there. They did Easter egg hunt, and
Cute.
Anyway, we'll go back into what we did growing up. I do have something to say about the Easter egg hunt, but what happened? What happened with Vinny?
Do it.
No. We'll go into that topic.
Oh.
So I'll start this off by saying, should I tell the rat story?
What rat story? Ew, there wasn't a rat.
Okay, never mind then.
Tell me.
Oh God, there better not have been a rat.
The rat at the apartment last time?
No, the one that jumped on my hand.
Oh, the possum?
Yeah, I thought it was a possum. I don't know.
Yeah, say it, it's funny.
Squirrel/rat.
So
No,
With a hand.
we'll save it for the end. Let's stay on the
Okay,
Easter.
okay.
Let's stay on the Easter / Vinny running away.
Okay, so it was last weekend. I was mowing the lawn. Sorry, during the week. I was mowing the lawn before my parents came, and I decided to bring the lawnmower in and forgot to close the gate. And I let the dogs out and just forgot about it. 30 minutes went by, and finally I thought, why haven't the dogs been at the door crying to get back in? And then I think, did I leave the gate open? I turned to look out the window, and no, the gate was closed. So I go out there and try calling them. No one comes. I go to the gate, and sure enough, I open the gate, and Giuseppe's just sitting there waiting to come back in.
Vinny walked out and closed the gate behind him.
Another neighbor was walking down the street, and she asked me, "Do you have another one, a little black one?" I was like, "Yes." And he was down the street, and I could see him. When he saw me, he started running towards me, and he was panting the whole way he was running towards me, and he didn't stop panting even when we brought him into the house for like another 30, 45 minutes. So who knows how far he ran or how hard he ran. So that happened.
He smelled barbecue, and so he got in line. Got a few pieces of barbecue.
That happened the week leading into Easter weekend. And then Easter weekend, he got out again.
So let me just say, he cried. So Austin's dad stays outside with the dogs, right? And they like to be outside, but with someone there. Well, Ray is not the type of person who could just sit around all day, so he has to be doing something. So we're like, oh, if you want to rake our leaves or whatever, that's cool. And so he's raking, and he takes his dog out there. Well, Vinny is crying, literally crying to go out there with him, and we can't let him out because he has to be on a leash or it has to be gated, and our front yard isn't gated. And so finally, this went on for about 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, we're just going to tie him to the tree because I can't take this. He's just constantly crying, looking out the window. And so I tied him to the tree, and he was fine.
You need to back up first.
Why?
Because that was the second time. The first time he was crying, we just let him out. Remember, I just let him out without a leash, without anything. I just let him out there. And he took off running. And so I was like, Vinny, come back. And he just took off running. I didn't run after him. I just walked after him. And Vinny really didn't run. He just was walking from house to house. And finally, after 2 houses, 3 houses, he stopped. And I picked him up and I brought him back. And we were like, okay, you can't be outside anymore. We brought him back in, and then now, like Cassie was saying, he started crying even more. So then she takes him out, and...
So I tie him to the tree, right? And I'm doing homework, and I need a break. I was like, okay, well, I'll go check on him. And so I went to check on him. Well, when I was out there, he starts crying towards me, and he's, on his hind legs. And I'm like, okay, maybe he wants to, be loose and not be on the tree. So I unclip him, and he just takes off running. And I'm yelling for him to come back, and that dog doesn't listen to me for anything, so he just keeps running, and I was like, oh crap. So then I take off sprinting. Well, I'm very out of shape, so the sprinting lasts about 6 seconds, and then I'm like we ran 2 blocks, And then Vinny starts slowing down. Well, when he starts slowing down, I was like, okay, this is my time to catch him. And so I would start running, but then he would start running, right? Like if this is some game and I'm over here dying. And then some lady, I ran through her yard, like zigzag through her yard, up and down. And I felt so bad, right? Like some strangers running in my grass. But anyway, so she has her door open to her car and she's sitting in her car. And I was like, I am so sorry. I was like, my dog got loose. And she's like, oh, don't worry. She's like, I have a Chihuahua too. And she calls him and he just walks right up to her. And so then she grabs him and then I get him. And I'm like, great. Now I have to walk 2 blocks carrying him in my hand. And I'm out of breath and I'm panting and he's panting. And luckily, Ray or Austin's dad told Austin and his mom that Vinny got out, so they went and got the car and they met me, so I didn't have to walk all the way back.
That's so funny. He has a taste of freedom now, though. I feel like it's going to happen more and more.
We don't let him out in the front. I just was just trying to be a good owner, give the kid what he wants. It didn't go my way.
Again, I think he's fine because he was out by himself for the whole 30 minutes when I didn't realize, and he didn't. He may have gone even further and we would never have known. He maybe came back and, Yeah.
It just takes one car to run him over. Like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
He shouldn't be out.
So.
Running amok.
So Vinny had a good weekend.
So, yeah, I was super tired. It took me about an hour to get over that. And I was like, my blood was still going, even though I caught my breath. I started like not feeling well. It was just awful. I was like, I'm extremely out of shape.
This was on Easter Sunday?
Yes.
That's pretty funny.
It's not. It was awful.
Bailey has gotten out once, and Jessica was leaving. This was before Jessica and I were even married. She wasn't living here. I don't know how she ran out. I don't remember exactly, but Jessica was leaving and backing out the driveway. So she's backing out, looking through her rearview mirror and looking out the back window. And Bailey's running towards the car. And I'm like, this is it. Bailey's going to die. Because she runs behind the car and Jess can't see her because she doesn't know she's out. Jess can't even see me because she's not looking in my direction.
Right. And
then next thing I know, I see Bailey just dart down the block. And Jessica just sees me running. So Jessica doesn't know what the hell's going on because she doesn't know Bailey's out. And I just start running. Then I start yelling at her. And I get my mad voice out. And she comes trotting back. And she got disciplined, and she hasn't done it since. I can now walk the driveway, the front yard, and she won't do anything. She won't dart or anything like that.
Again, Vinny is fine.
No, it's not.
When I take their trash in and out, or again, lawnmower or anything, I open the gate. If they're in the backyard and I tell them to stay, him and Giuseppe will stay in the backyard, even though they see me walking to the front, doing this and that. They will stay in the backyard, and then I come back and they're fine. It was just we let him out in the front yard and didn't say anything, and he just took off.
Your dog's bad. That's what happened.
I mean, I think it's what do you call it? Like owners, whatever you want to call it. Like we only see the good in our dogs. I told Jess Bailey's well behaved. Bailey's good. She listens. She stays. Bailey's giving me a side eye right now as I talk about her. And but Jess will say she is the worst dog. She doesn't listen. She's blah, 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 and all these negative things. And I don't see that at all. I honestly highly disagree with that. Highly disagree.
I know Vinny listens to Austin more than he listens to me. But there's some times where Vinny just does whatever he wants, and it doesn't matter who says what.
He still hears you.
No, I know he hears and understands me.
He's not deaf.
But he purposefully does not listen because he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Because he's a pain in my ass, that's why.
That's pretty funny. So you had mentioned us, you left the gate open. You say sometimes when you take the trash or the lawnmower, tell them to stay. What happened with this lawnmower this one time? This most recent time you were telling me the story.
I was going to mow the lawn, so I was taking the lawnmower from the shed to the front yard. And I had the lawnmower up to the gate. I went to open the gate. So I pull the lever down, and then I take my left hand and I push the gate open. And when I do that, I put my left hand kind of like where my head is, maybe a little above my head, to push the gate open. And I have my other hand on the lawnmower. As I push the gate open, I see something from like the corner of my eye. So about 5'6" level. So where the gate is at. Run.
Ugh.
It's like springtime. I'm like, oh, it's a moth. It's a bug. It's something, right? I just see like a shadow. And then as I open the gate and swing it open, something lands on my hand. And I look down, and it's a small rodent. I don't know what it is. I thought it was either a possum or a baby squirrel. I wasn't thinking rat. I thought something like possum or squirrel just because it came from the top part of the gate. So, like, why would the rat be that high, just chilling there, you know?
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. It makes more sense that a possum or squirrel would be up there chilling, right? Like, why would a rat be up there chilling? But it jumped on my hand, and I looked down, and right as it jumps on my hand, it jumps off and, like, scurries into, like, behind. We have, like, these flowers and bushes.
It was doing parkour?
Yes, and after the fact, like, as it happened, I could feel its little hands, like, squeeze my hand. Like, it landed on my hand. I feel its little hand squeeze and then jump off.
Ew.
And so, I don't know what it was. Again, it ran behind the bushes. So then where it was or where it ended up being, I mean, that makes me think maybe it could be a rat. I don't know. It was just out of nowhere. It jumped on me, jumped on my hand. I felt its little hand squeeze and then continued running off.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Not on what happened, because, I mean, you gave a nice play-by-play, but I have a theory of what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh, Kaz.
Sorry.
Ready? You ready for this?
Give it to me. Go.
Grasshopper mouse.
Yes.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
The losing animal.
If anyone doesn't know what that is, go back and listen to season 1 at a span of 3 episodes. That almost was the podcast mascot.
Yes.
Anyway. No, honestly, it sounds like an opossum.
Whatever it was a baby of whatever, you know. It was very small.
That's gross. That's gross.
Have you gone back to check the bush to see if there's anything, living in there?
Heck no. Heck no, he hasn't.
No, I haven't, because I was just going to cut all that stuff down, but Cassie wants me to keep it there.
For the rat or the opossum?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, Cass. Nice.
What? I don't want you to keep it there for them. It's a gorgeous plant and flowers and a little section that's like the only nice part of our yard. I mean, why would you want to cut that down?
It's a rodent habitat.
No, dude, Cassie, I Earth Day was just here. I get it, Cassie. I get it. You want to, provide a home for other animals.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I said.
Okay, well, moving on. I don't know if it's going to be too much of a, whiplash here to go back to Easter, but I just was curious. Did you guys used to get money in your Easter eggs growing up?
If you found it, yeah.
Yeah, if you found it.
I thought that was more of a... Wait, was it one Easter egg with money?
No, they used to do like coins, dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a golden egg with like a bigger dollar bill.
So that was only once for me. Every other Easter egg hunt that I was, a part of was just candy or whatever. There was one year, and it was the last year, that it was money.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not every egg would have money. Some would have
Right.
candy, but yes, the eggs would be scattered, and then whatever you found, but either had money, coins, dollar bills, or candy. Yeah.
Once we got older and we're too old for Easter egg hunts, we would do them for our nieces and nephews. And so and littler cousins. And so we had a house, our grandma's house was in the front, and then our house was towards the back. And so the kids would wait, or we would wait in the back, and someone would hide it in the front. And so when they told you go, then you would all run looking for the golden egg.
Did they line you up by age and height?
No, it was just
By size, because you can't let the
free-for-all.
faster kids go first.
They would line us up. They would line us up by height, by age. So like you let the little kids go first. They get like a couple
Yeah,
seconds
maybe
head
we did
start.
that.
Yeah.
What?
No, I just remember like little Tomas running around getting eggs, and then we would take his eggs.
Why did y'all take his egg?
We were sharing. We're on the same team. We're on the same team, man.
You just stole from him.
Taught him a
Same
valuable
thing.
lesson. All right, now I just wanted to go back to that question on Easter.
Yeah,
The
we would do.
piñata question.
The what?
Piñata.
Piñata.
Oh no, the money egg. The piñata was something that I'm starting to see more and more, like on the side of the roads, like where you normally saw Easter baskets. Instead of Easter baskets, it was cascarones and piñatas.
I felt like I've always seen piñatas there, but I never knew that to be a thing. I guess.
Piñatas to me are for birthdays. That's it. Fight me. Thoughts?
Or bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Cassie over here, her side gig.
That's not my side
On the
gig.
website, 3RD
No,
Life
there's
Podcast.
not
There is a
on the
section
website.
where you can look
Do
at
not go-
Cassie's piñatas that she's selling.
It's not true.
Leave
Oh,
us a
it's-
comment.
it's-
We can.
It's not live
You
yet?
can fill your
Okay,
order.
it's going to be live probably in a week or two.
Do not look for it. Do not put in any orders. This does not exist.
Imagine all these requests are coming in.
Do it Del Gribble style.
What's
$900. It only takes
Just
one.
gotta sell one.
Okay, moving on to what I brought up last podcast. Towards the end, I don't know what you guys would or have thoughts on, but I asked a question, and it was basically, do you think that we will ever get effed up again? Like, completely hammered, throwing up in a toilet, waking up with the worst hangover ever? Or do you think that's already happened?
I think it will happen again, especially maybe like after our lives settle down. You know, you're about to have a kid. I think your life will probably take a lull, and then when y'all are
Challenge
ready to start
accepted.
when y'all are ready to party again, I think you'll probably take it a little too far and get real sick. I don't ever try to get messed up, so that's never on my agenda. But I think it will. I can never say it's never going to happen again. You know, we've got hopefully a couple more decades in our life, you know.
So this website, the title of this article is 9 Signs You're Way Too Old to Get Wasted. The first one saying college-aged people annoy you. Would you guys agree that's a sign that you're too old to get wasted?
No. I think I'm still young enough to where I don't see myself as a college kid and, you know, working with college people. Like, I don't think I'm one of them, but at the same time, I don't think I'm that much older than them. So they don't annoy me, really.
I guess it depends on how obnoxious they're being, you know. If they're chill, I don't think that's a big deal. But if they're, like, freaking losing their minds over there, then that's kind of annoying.
But you got to think,
Right?
too, like, that was you
Freaking
one
losing their
time.
minds.
No, I get it. I understand. But now that I'm where I am now, that's annoying.
Okay.
So it sounds like it would annoy Cassie. Sounds like it wouldn't annoy you, Austin. I don't think it would annoy me either. Last night was Jessica's youngest sister's 21st birthday. And, you know, I was sleepy, but I was like, you know, if we go out, that'll be cool too. I wasn't like dreading it, you know? And it's also fiesta time, so there was a bunch of lively things going on.
Sure.
And I think if I didn't work today, I most likely would have gone with Jess or just walked around a little bit more. We kind of just left. But, yeah, that doesn't annoy me. The next one is drinking is absolutely exhausting to you. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I only drink, you know, like at parties socially. So, no. Disagree.
You have stuff to do. Even if you wanted to get wasted, you just don't have the time.
Nope, I don't got nothing to do.
This adult thing takes up most of your life.
I ain't got shit to do.
My calendar's wide open. I'm just kidding.
It says, and there's little room for chugging 40s and taking huge bong hits on a regular basis.
Again, I feel like that's going all out.
Errands
I
to
don't know if I
run,
put
dishes to wash, puppies to feed.
Clothes to wash. Clothes to wash is a
It's a big one.
How about you think hard partying people are lame?
I guess we don't. So we don't have a lot of friends here. So nobody talks like that.
And I think
You know?
that goes with like the same, like the first one about
Annoying.
being annoyed. Yeah, I mean, no.
If somebody was talking about partying, I don't think it would annoy me. If it was like they're going out every single night or every single weekend, they're single, they're young. I mean, as long as they're coming to work, I don't care.
What about the idea of you'd rather spend money on something else other than?
I could definitely see that. I could always use a nice dress or something.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
You have no desire to get drunk anymore. Again, I don't think the
Blasphemy.
goal. What?
I said blasphemy.
I don't think the goal is to get, drunk right now. The last few years, I would say yes. Well, damn, that's hard. I'm thinking back at it now.
Think back.
Sometimes I'm just like, it'd be fun to like just kick back and like when we were fishing this past weekend. I wasn't looking forward to get drunk, but I wasn't opposed to the idea. Or like sometimes when we play, here's a good one that's probably not on this list. Me, Marshall, and Caesar, and I mean I've asked you, Austin, too, and you have in the past. We like to play beer pong just on the weekends. Now that sounds like a college 21-year-old, frat thing.
It sure does.
But like
Austin, would you say that's immature?
Again, no.
like
Jessica, answer that question.
I look forward to that. It's just fun. Like we're not doing it for that goal. We're doing it because like you're shooting a ball in a hoop with beer. Like what's not fun about that? And Cass, you did play beer pong at our wedding.
We were celebrating your wedding, John. That's a once in a lifetime.
Somebody was actually feeling really good from that.
That was a once in a lifetime
Feels good when you win.
event. It is nice to win, so some of us don't know that feeling.
Let's see what else is on here. You think party pictures on social media are asinine?
So I don't think it is the quality of the photo, right? Like, don't fucking post a photo where it's like smudged and smeared and like the lights, like I can't fucking make out what's in that photo. Are you taking a picture of somebody, something? Or when they're doing Snapchat and they're like recording themselves dancing on the dance floor. It's like, what are you doing? Or they take multiple of the same thing, like multiple shots of these awful looking pictures or multiple snaps of black, white, with lights. You're maybe dancing with a drink in your hand and singing along. Like one of those, you don't need many. I guess it's the quality of what you're doing and how often you're doing it. But no, it doesn't bother me.
Long story short, that was a little rant.
It doesn't bother me.
No? Okay.
No, I mean, it doesn't bother me either. You have a genuine concern for your health. I don't. Jess does for me.
I don't care about my health.
It's not like I still feel like obviously we're getting older, right? Some pains are starting to happen that are that weren't there before. Mm-hmm. My back this past weekend was killing me, and I feel like I started thinking about it more and more. I was like, that's something that I thought I would never say, but it legit was hurting. Really
and here
bad.
we are.
From the fishing?
From probably standing up, or I slept on a couch all weekend. Maybe it was that. I don't know.
I think stuff like that, like not so much maybe the drinking, but like you can't go all day fishing and then come back and chill on a couch and not worry about like eating poorly and doing all this stuff. Like as you get older, you can choose one or the other, right? Like you can go fishing all day if you want to, but you want to come home
and
or
rest.
at least to the hotel and have a good hotel bed, or
Let me. Yeah, no, you're completely right. Let me elaborate on this fishing trip just really quick because it was very. We got about 5 hours.
Your third life crisis. Go on.
We got about 5 hours of sleep in 48 hours. We essentially got to the hotel on the coast at 2:30 in the morning. Left by 5:30 to be on the water by 6. Fished till about 2:30 p.m. Ate lunch. We were already drunk. Went back to the hotel, slept for another hour, and then everyone woke up. And I thought we were going to go fishing again, like just, in our spare time, go to the pier, and because we took our rods and stuff. No, everyone wanted to get dressed and go to a bar. So, okay. And we got hammered. Not shit,
Wow.
not like, look, this whole topic right now is like getting really messed up and throwing up. No, I didn't anyway. Caesar did, but not me.
Calling someone out. Jeez.
But went to bed again around. We went to Denny's after. Went to bed again around 4.
Oh, it's crazy if you went to Denny's.
Went to bed around 4 or so, and we had
No one sober would go to Denny's.
we had planned to leave by 7:30 the next morning, and we did. Got home. I don't even know how many hours of sleep that is already, but it was less than 10. And then we did the whole Easter thing at Jessica's house. And then as soon as everyone left, dude, I sat on the couch and I passed out. I was snoring in front of her family and everything. I didn't even care. And I'm glad I had Monday off because I slept in and, Anyway, genuine concern for your health. I wasn't thinking about it, but my body was hurting after this weekend.
Sure.
Austin would talk a lot about like, oh, I'm still young, kind of thing, that attitude that he has. But we're getting up there. Not that we're not concerned with our health, but again, I feel like I personally don't drink enough to be like, oh, this is really gonna mess me up later down the line. I don't drink every day, every week. Sometimes months go by. You know what I mean? So I feel like drinking for me is not a concern with my health. There's plenty other things that I need to do better.
That don't involve alcohol.
Correct.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't have the concern, but at the same time, it goes hand in hand with, like, I also don't have concern about getting sick or stuff like that. Like, I'm a 30-year-old male. I don't have concern for that, obviously, right now.
But we should.
It's there.
Right?
I know it's there. Yeah.
Okay. At least we acknowledge that, because I agree. It's there.
No, I know it's there, and I should, and, you should take steps to ensure that you are able to live a long, healthy life, after 60, 70, 80. But like anything, it's just hard to do that right now. Like, you can't tell your 20-year-old self to think about stuff that your 30-year-old self is going to need or want in the same way now. Like, you can't tell your 30-year-old self now to be concerned about your 40 or 50-year-old self. It's the same thing. Like, if you could tell your 20-year-old self something or 15-year-old self, like, what would you say? Oh, do this, do that. But would you really do that? No. Like, you can't. I don't think, like, the human mind is designed that way to think like that.
But are you not, so you drink more than I do. Are you not concerned with your health?
At the moment, no.
You acknowledge that it could be harmful.
Yeah, and there's definitely a tipping point, but I think as of right now, the tipping point's not there. Well, that's not to say when I turn 31, 32 that there won't be a stark change in, like, after 2 beers I am hungover or something to that effect. But the thing of it is, for all this stuff, even when you're 20 or younger, you don't realize it or you don't see it until it happens. And so the whole point of it now is to take preemptive steps to try to avoid it, but it's just hard when it's something you can't see.
I hope I don't regret it. Like, right now, we're not thinking about it, but like when I'm 60, 65, 70, and something's wrong, maybe, I'm like, crap, when I was 30, I wish I would have.
I talked about this on my podcast and I still fucked up.
Yeah, something like that.
It's hard because then you think about, well, if you didn't do certain things, you wouldn't have those memories, you wouldn't have those friendships, your life would have been different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to gauge because then at that point, you're gauging as a 60-year-old, 70-year-old person thinking, I wish I had more time. When now you're gauging as in, no, I want to have those experiences and stay up all night with my friends, fishing and drinking, coming back, hanging out with my wife and her family, enjoying Easter, enjoying the holidays. It's just you're in a different place and time right now.
Yeah.
You're in your 30s. So, that's why everyone slows down when they get older, for that reason.
I could see that. The last one here is you no longer get excited about alcohol-fueled social gatherings.
I still get excited.
Alcohol-fueled social gatherings?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I do too.
I'm real excited about the wedding coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
And the last wedding, and the bachelor parties. Real excited.
And the baby shower.
Well, no, we didn't. What? No.
Oh, sorry. What?
Alcohol fueled baby shower. Extreme.
Like those things kept me looking forward to going down to San Antonio, spending time with friends, spending time with family. I mean, coming at the end of your list here, I don't think those apply to us just yet.
Yeah. Or maybe they apply to some people already. Or maybe we just have a different mindset. This was 9 signs. 9 signs you're way too old to get wasted. So there was no age here. That being said, let's end the topic on what is the age in your mind where you're too old to get wasted? If you have to put a number to it, what would y'all say? Let me think about this
Never.
one too.
Never.
I guess it really depends. Like you said, events.
Never.
Like if there's an event, if my niece is getting married, or if someone's graduating college. Like I don't know how far down the future my child's graduating, getting married. I'm probably gonna want to have some drinks. I don't know about getting like totally wasted. It's sloppy at that point, right? Like 45, 50, 60. I don't want to look like a hot mess. It's cute now, but it's not gonna stay cute for long.
So do you genuinely mean, Austin, never? You're never too old to get wasted? You specifically?
Yeah.
I can put 66.
No, if I'm 66 and then I turn 67 and they tell me, man, you're going to die in like a month. There's nothing we can do for you. Okay. Why wouldn't I go out and drink and have fun?
I don't think you'd want to spend I don't think you'd want to spend it getting wasted, though. I mean, I don't know what you want.
Not the whole month. I'm just saying, like, if they give you a month to live.
He was married to me the whole time, so it's like, oh.
If they give you a month to live, there's no reason why one of those days you can't be wasted. Like,
I would think 65, you're retired or close to retirement age, and you want to go have fun, and you've got money, and you don't have to go to work the next day. I mean, I don't think there's an age limit.
I'm not saying you're doing it every day. I'm just saying there's no age I see where it's like, nope, that's the age. No, not one day in 365 days of that year can you feel like you cannot be wasted.
Yeah. What if I get sad one day and just want to drink a whole bottle of wine? And who cares how old I am? I just think it just depends. If it's an event, celebrating, people drink when they're sad. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No, okay, I guess. I see y'all's point and respect it. But you're wrong.
Tell me the age. That way when you hit that age, I'm going to slap the beer right out of your hand.
I said 66.
66. Got it.
My daughter will be 36.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell her to slap the beer right out of your hand.
We would have celebrated birthdays. We would have gone out. She would have already been married,
Mm-hmm.
No pressure if you're not. Go on.
I'm just saying, like, all the milestones would have probably...
No pressure if you don't
would have probably already happened. The only thing I didn't think about was retirement, like celebrating that, but I don't have to get wasted. The topic here is getting wasted.
Right.
I can have a beer or 2 or 3 and not get wasted. I can still enjoy my day off, after retirement and whatnot.
It's a slippery slope, man. You start drinking and you're like, all right. Then you have another one and you're like, okay, this is cool. And you have a third one. You're like, okay, you're feeling good. And then by like the 7th one, you're like,
a glimpse into
crap.
Cassie's mind.
It's too late.
A glimpse into Cassie
you gotta go forward.
During college.
You gotta keep going forward.
There's no backpedaling at that.
You gotta
point,
go forward
so
to come
like,
out.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It just happens sometimes.
We've all
never know.
We've all seen Interstellar. No going back.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to bring up from last time here. We can mosey right along. What is this Austin's article?
So I don't know what this was supposed to be.
The
Cassie
article?
reminded me.
Okay.
Yeah, I deleted it. I have other articles to go over.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We will see you guys next week.
We're not prepared for this podcast. Don't worry about it.
Here, you can pick one of these
Tune out
articles.
now.
One is a woman who gets a bee stuck in her eye. Another
It
one
was that one.
is okay, but I have other ones.
Shh, John, be quiet. Go ahead, Austin.
I mean, not all these are winners. Next one is
just like this podcast.
Dallas area leads American cities in 2018 population growth.
Mm-mm.
Next is bachelorette party guest shamed online for demanding email. And the next one is the best companies for employees in 2019.
I still want to go with the B one because I was interested last week, which is why I wrote it on the docket 2 weeks ago. Because you mentioned something like, Cassie, what about that story about the bee that I was telling you in the car? And I was very intrigued.
This bachelorette one
Everybody
is also
dies.
pretty good, though. So just
Okay,
FYI.
tell me that one next. Go.
No. We'll save that for next week.
What? No, I don't have time for that. I'm just kidding. There's not gonna be one next
Hey,
week.
Austin, FYI, time out. That was really pretty cool. You gave us a glimpse of what we want to hear with tantalizing titles, and we have to choose, and then we can't listen to another one until the next time.
What? I don't like that at all. I want to hear all
That
of
was
it.
great. It had me very, very intrigued.
So we picked the B one.
The B one.
He's finally enjoying this podcast.
I've been
We
waiting
picked the
for
article I don't have. All right. So for memory, this woman in Korea, Taiwan, she was at her Southeast Asia. She was at her someone's grave, cleaning it up, sprucing it up, and as she was like cleaning stuff up, something hit her eye, and she thought it was just dust, dirt. I mean, she's cleaning around the area, and she goes home, takes a nap, and it's still irritating her. When she wakes up, her eye is actually swelling, and there's almost like pus, and it's now starting to hurt a little bit. And the pain gets more intense. Her eye swells up more, so she ends up going to the doctor. When she goes to the doctor, they look at her eye, and it's swollen. It's like, there's like pus, but also like tears. There's something in there. And the doctors are looking at her eye, and they see a little tiny leg poke out from underneath her eye.
Oh.
And the doctor's like, what is that? And when they look close into their eye, they see stuff moving in her eye. And so they pull at the leg, and a little bee comes out.
How loud are we talking? That's awful.
These bees are called sweat bees. They're called that because they feed off the sweat of people. But in this case, they can also feed off the tears of this woman. And so they pull this little bee like out of her eyeball. Like not her eye socket, like not
behind her eyeball.
No, in her eyeball. They still see movement, so they pull out another bee. They still see movement.
What?
So they pull out a third bee. They still see more movement. They pulled out 4 bees out of this woman's eyeball. And they said, lucky for her that she had her contacts in.
That there wasn't
because
a fifth bee.
Because the contacts prevented her from rubbing her eye.
That was the lamest joke. That was hilarious.
Because she had her contacts in, she felt like you shouldn't rub your eye when you have contacts in, right?
Yeah.
And so she didn't want to rub her eye, and that prevented her from being even more harmed. Because if she would have rubbed her eye with the bees in there, they would have just gone to town and started stinging, and would have caused her to go blind. Wow, laughing at blindness. A new low for Cassandra.
That is not what I'm laughing
A new low.
I'm laughing at John. There was a 5 bees. Oh, that's not funny. Why is that hilarious?
So I saw this story on a site that I usually don't visit or I would trust as much. But then like the next day, I saw it on more reputable sites, like actual news stations here in the United States. And yeah, it's true.
So in the eyeball, not behind it?
Yeah.
How does she
in
not
the
go blind
eyeball.
from them opening her eyeball?
Yeah, did they have to open her eyeball?
So no, they just pulled it out. Like again, your eyeball's like
Pulled it through?
like a gelatinous thing. Like you can,
No, I don't know. That's gross.
So I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
So
that
is
story.
she okay? I mean,
Yeah, she's fine. They were able to pull it out. I mean,
there wasn't 5 bees.
they rinsed her. Good thing there wasn't 5 bees. And
You're like, what they told her? Thank God there wasn't 5 bees.
You know, the human eyeball can only fit 4 bees.
That 5th bee though. Whew. So they were inside her eyeball, basically just going to town on the buffet of tears and sweat and whatever was in there.
Yeah.
I understand, you're doing something at a gravesite and you feel something. How do you not feel 4 bees hit you?
But I mean, to be fair, like,
to be tiny, right?
how do you? Yeah, these are small bees. How do you know what it feels like to have something inside your eyeball? Like, you wouldn't know what that feels like. You could obviously just mistake that as, oh, there's something in my eye. Like, no one knows what that feels like to have something actually in their eyeball.
I mean, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's all right. I'm gonna read this Bachelorette one, or we're saving this.
Save it.
It's
Read
good.
Save it.
It's fucking good.
Save
man.
it.
It's
Read
so
it.
good.
Hey, you want to hear?
He'll find another article by then.
Hey, you want to hear the Bachelorette party? Make sure you tune in next week for next week's podcast.
Just tell me then off the air.
No, don't tell Cassie. I'll quit the podcast if you tell Cassie.
So we're looking for a 3rd member.
All right, so make sure to tune in next week for this crazy Bachelorette party story that Austin has.
I wouldn't wait. I would just go look that up.
It's not crazy. I mean, whatever. It's fine. It's a good story. Yeah. You know what? It's crazy. Fuck it.
Fuck it. Okay. I'm sorry.
All right, well, again, thanks for hanging out. Make sure to check us out on our social media sites.
At Third Life Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow us to see exactly how we are surviving a Third Life podcast. Oh, no, crisis. Follow us to see exactly how we are surviving our third life crisis. And like John said, to hear about the Bachelorette story next week. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you may listen. Again, to find us, just search Cassie, pay attention, 3RD Life Podcast, or head over to our website, www. the number 3, the letter R, the letter D, lifepodcast.com to find links to everything I just mentioned in past episodes. Be sure to follow us on our individual Twitter accounts at jmike2689, at castle_Cassie, the 2 S's, and at the Austin Luna.
And we are going to be hanging out this weekend together. They're coming down to San Antonio for another wedding, so we'll make sure to share any crazy stories. But other than that,
there will be none.
Other than that, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week, and take care.
Bye, guys.
Later.